Guys, today is December 22nd. It is a Monday. Happy Monday to you all. It's also my 26th birthday at the time of recording this, so I want to say a quick thank you guys for all the love and support. This channel would be nothing without you guys, truly. It probably wouldn't have started without you guys, to tell the truth. All the love and support I've received has just been incredible, so I wanted to get a quick reflection point before I get into today's video. This video is my gift to you. This one's going to be talking about two transfer portal players that I see real connections to Kansas State with, guys that I think will make the Cats significantly better if they can pull it off, and people that I truly do think Colin Klein and Trey Scott are going to be aggressive in their pursuit of. For this birthday, all I want from you, hit the like button, subscribe, share, however you want to. It's free and it takes about 4 seconds of your time. If it takes longer than that, unsubscribe. But like I said, this video is for you. I hope you guys kick back and enjoy it. I'm going to try to include highlights in this one. If it gets demonetized, I'll never do it again. But I'm going to try to give you guys some highlights. I think I'm going to try to go for it. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, next video will be a little different. But in general, that's going to be the plan for today's video. Now, when Jayce Brown hit the transfer portal, I think the panic button was absolutely smashed. I totally get it. I totally get you're losing a 1,000-yard receiver type dude, the best receiver you've had. If you want to make the case that he's better than Byron Pringle, that's fine. If you want to say he's not, I get it. But he's definitely the best receiver we've had under Chris Klieman. Like, he is far and away the best receiver we've had in that alley. Malik Knowles is probably second in that case. But Jayce Brown's been a difference maker for Kansas State. And this past year, the team went 6-6. There wasn't a ton of difference makers. I mean, there's guys that can affect winning in a positive way, but to call someone a difference maker, just you couldn't give that title to many people not named Jayce Brown this past season, so that is a big loss. Now, Jayce has both NFL aspirations and a price tag aspiration. I mean, the guy wants to be paid. If you didn't believe it, how about the day after transferring from Kansas State, sitting in the stands at the Miami-Texas A&M playoff game? I mean, you know, it doesn't surprise me at all to see that happen. The dude's going to Miami. Don't let that be a shock to anybody. But, and as sucky as that is to lose Jayce Brown, I'm kind of starting the spin zone here. So maybe it's just me coping. Maybe it's just me optimism. You know, I'm off the happiness or whatever. But, like, I feel like Jayce Brown is not a player that's going to be irreplaceable. And I don't mean that to say that he's not going to be far and away better than the players we have in Manhattan this next season. I'm not trying to say that. He's going to be, in theory, a top 10 receiver in the sport. I'm good with that. But I think the receiver room can take a step forward, and the two dudes I'm going to talk about in today's video, paired with a guy like Derrick Salley, paired with a potential guy like Joshua Manning we talked about a couple videos ago, I think you could have a really, really good room. I didn't even mention Jerron Tibbs, honorable All Big 12 mention. Honorable All Big 12 honorable mention. There we go. It took me a minute. Let me tell you about the two players. You've seen the thumbnail. I'll quit beating around the bush. Here's the thing. The first player I'm going to talk about is Larenzo Fenner, sophomore receiver from South Dakota. Now, why would a kid from South Dakota have a commitment to Kansas State? What is the tie-in there? He's a local kid, and you know how much I advocate for local prospects coming home. Now, yeah, in this case, home's a little bit further away than Manhattan, but the kid grew up in Independence, Missouri, was a Fort Osage star in high school, and went to South Dakota with not a lot of interest out of high school. Two-star recruit, had one official offer from South Dakota. There were 4 other teams interested. Kansas State was one of them. I think they would have taken him as a walk-on, didn't work out for whatever reason. Obviously, if the kid's getting a scholarship somewhere, I don't judge him at all for that. But out of Fort Osage High School, we were one of the 5 programs interested, along with Wisconsin, Southern Illinois, Lindenwood, and obviously South Dakota. Now, for Kansas State side of things, why should you want the kid? Let me tell you this, and I'll toss up some highlights as we talk. The 6-foot, 185-pound sophomore from Independence, Missouri, had an incredible season last year. Was one of the best players in all of FCS football. He had 44 catches for 1,002 yards, and listen to this part, 15 touchdowns. 15 touchdowns. That is a ton. He had the second most yards of any receiver in FCS football this year, and he averaged a stupid amount of yards per catch. 22.8 yards per catch. That's ridiculous. The dude was a big play threat, and truthfully, you watch him on film. There's one clip specifically in here. For one, he's wearing number 1. For 2, he's the same size as Jayce. The dude cuts people up in the open field. He's a 50-50 ball go-getter type dude. Like, he is someone that is going to be a Jayce replacement, so to speak. I don't mean to just put him in that light. Like, he could be a better player. He could not, hold a candle to him. He could do XYZ thing. I don't know all the expectations, but when you watch this kid play, he is a stud. This is an absolute must-have for Kansas State, especially after losing Jayce Brown. This is a guy you can toss in the slot. You can toss out wide. I personally, obviously, you already see the makeup of your roster. You've got Jerron Tibbs outside, 6'3", 220, big dude. Derrick Salley Jr., similar thing in that opposite, 6'3", 220, 215, similar body. This kid's 6'1", 185. Put him in the slot and let him barbecue anybody in the middle of the field. That is what you want. that is what you need. That would be a massive one. So shout out to Cole Carmody for putting Fenner on my radar. The kid can absolutely fly. He's a big play threat anytime he touches the football and would be an incredible add to kick off the portal cycle for Collin Klein. Now, he's not the only player I'm going to talk about in today's video. I mentioned there's 2 receivers. You're going to get yourself 2 receivers. The next one, Tre Brown, an Old Dominion speedster with family ties in this case that are kind of interesting. I'll talk about this. But Tre Brown is a 6'2", 185-pound receiver from Savannah, Georgia. No, that's not local. That said, he was a stud. And one of the most interesting things about his recruitment, and I don't know how much this is actually going to play into everything that comes with it, but he's being repped by an agency that's run by Aaron Lockett. There you go. The Lockett family, someone with Lockett family ties, you have to understand that Kansas State has to be a possibility. Now, I understand that's not all in all. That's not saying, okay, I'm definitely going to Kansas State, have to do XYZ thing. But he also had Derrick Salley Jr. also posting his transfer portal announcement on his Instagram story. You got some guys throwing some love to Tre Brown's way. And for Kansas State fans, there's a ton of former Wildcats on the ODU staff. Obviously, Cody Cook just got promoted to offensive coordinator there, so congrats to him. Wanted him on K-State staff, but it's just the way it goes. But let me tell you a little bit about Tre Brown. He was the definition of a big-bodied, big-play dude. Like, you'll see clips of him going 98 yards to the house, just outrunning everybody, finding the seam, finding cracks in the defense, and capitalizing off that. 38 grabs for 762 yards and 4 scores this past season, averaging 20.1 yards per catch, which was 6th in the entirety of FBS football. That's tough to beat. Top 6 in the country. And like I said, the Aaron Lockett thing is really interesting to me because I don't know all the ins and outs of what it's going to happen. I don't know how all this recruiting stuff works too much behind the scenes. But if you chalk it up to this, Trey Scott's going to do the best job humanly possible of assessing talent. If it makes sense, they're going to go after him hard. Collin Klein, I have a feeling, is going to be one of the hottest stocks in terms of recruiting. And obviously, we don't know who the offensive coordinator is. It doesn't really matter that much considering Collin Klein's going to be the guy calling plays and running the ship. Obviously, there's some intrigue there to see who it is, and there's been a couple names talked about it. But in general, I think we're going to have a really, really good portal class. And I know it's early. I know we haven't, been connected to people, but think about this. Yes, you lose Jayce Brown. That sucks. It's a kick in the crotch. I'm not going to try to say it's not. But you look around the room and see this. You see Derrick Salley Jr., the number 1 JUCO receiver in all of college football. Jerron Tibbs, an honorable All-Big 12. Dude, I'm going to get that right at some point. An All-Big 12 honorable mention receiver who's coming off a 500-plus yards season. Like, a talented dude ready for a step forward again. Potentially Joshua Manning, a top 300 transfer target from Missouri, who should have been a Kansas State Wildcat, wasn't. Make this thing right, get it right the second time around. And then you add in Fenner or Brown. I mean, both. That's a possibility. I don't know that it's going to happen because there's only so many mouths that you can feed, but you would have dudes all over the football field that can go get you one. That can go get open. You don't have to see Avery scramble for 15 seconds trying to find somebody open because nobody's getting open. Like, there were moments in games where Jayce would be stupid open. He'd barbecue somebody in the open field, and then there'd be games where he wouldn't block or he wouldn't be open down the seam, and Avery just be holding onto the football for 15 seconds, a la a Shedeur Sanders type moment. Go get these guys. Make life easier on everybody. On Collin Klein, when you're calling these plays, you have dudes that can get open like this. Go get them. And I know that some people are going to be in that like, well, he did that at the FCS level, or he did that at Old Dominion, or he did this and this. Guys, the transfer portal has gotten so far away from adding good players to adding names. Good players cost an elite premium. I'm not trying to say these guys aren't good. They will cost a premium for both of these dudes that we're talking about. Same thing with Joshua Manning. But if you're Kansas State, you can absolutely sell the hometown ties. You can absolutely sell the future of what Kansas State football looks like. And by the way, the 2 dudes I mentioned, both Fenner and Brown, have 2+ years of eligibility remaining. That's big time. Go get good, proven players. You don't need to take a chance on who could be. Go find dudes that are out there affecting winning positively every single time they're on the football field, and you're not asking them to be your number 1 right off the rip. Obviously, they're going to be up there. Obviously, they're going to be in contention to be your number 1 receiver, but you retain Jerron Tibbs. You add talented, explosive dudes around him. Like, this is a match made in heaven. Go get the job done. A local kid coming back home to Kansas State with an elite room around him for Avery Johnson to utilize, that's a big deal, and that would be a huge thing. And I don't want to say that they're going to be better than Jace Brown. I'm not trying to make this in comparison to Jace Brown, but it doesn't make the loss that bad. You look around and you see the most talented wide receiver room you would have had under Chris Klieman if you built this class together. I think that's a big deal. I think it's a huge step in the right direction. Oh, by the way, Garrett Oakley's here. Oh, by the way, Lincoln Cure's here, who Collin Klein loves, and I'm excited to see what happens there. But guys, I just wanted to make a quick video this annual birthday, I guess, for lack of a better term. I wanted to talk to you about the Cats. It's my favorite thing to do. One of my favorite things to do, obviously. But this is my gift to you. I hope Kansas State gets a gift in return in the form of Larenzo Fenner or Tre Brown. Get the boys home. We're excited to see what happens, and I'll keep you updated as this thing develops. I wouldn't be shocked to see Kansas State linked to some transfer portal targets here soon, especially with A&M losing in the playoff. It feels like now is the time to get down and dirty. Obviously doesn't open until January 2nd. We'll see how that progresses. But for now, guys, that's going to do it, and I will talk to you all soon. Go Cats, baby.